Small river night fishing tonight. Got something on the first cast here. Just steady retrieving upstream a little husky jerk, probably a H9 or something. It's usually a pretty good tactic at night for smallies and walleye and sometimes rock bass. Yeah, this guy crushed it. Water's super shallow. So I'm trying to be real sneaky. It's very shallow, very clear. Yeah, first fish is a smallie. Sweet. It's October now. They should be all fired up. That's a little guy. 13-incher. You know, one of the biggest patterns I notice when I'm night fishing for smallies and walleyes like this, so I do this a lot, is that it seems to work best for me in the places where, you know, the runs and pools that get a lot of daytime pressure. Seems like middle of the night fishing for them works best for those types of areas. Another smallie here. Yeah, around the same. 13 and a half. Another smallie on. I had another one on too and it jumped in through the hook, like this guy. Seems like I got a good hook in this guy though. And they're hot. Even in the middle of the night. Super hot bite for smallies. Yeah. Shoot. There we go. It's hard because I gotta tuck the rod into my waders before I pick them up here because I'm wading out. So I can get it out of my hands. Yeah, another 13, 14-incher. Feels like I got another little smallie here. Still just steady retrieving husky jerk. Yep. Yeah. Another one around 13. There we go. Just had a fish on over here and he popped. Felt better. Now I got another one. I had to work really hard for him though. Quite a few casts. I knew they should be here though. Oh, this is just a little smallie. Yeah. Oop, there he goes. This guy's taking some drag. Another smallie, sweet. This guy's a fighter. Yeah, a little bear-sized, awesome. Yeah, probably a chunky between 16 and 16 and a half, I'd say. Right around there. Maybe 17. Decent smallie. This feels like a smaller guy. Just crushing this husky jerk, man. I've not been here very long. Pretty hot night fishing. Lost a few fish too on top of what I've gotten. Oh, shoot. This is always tough when waiting. Holding the rod and the fish at the same time so the camera can see it. Yeah, just a little guy, 11, 12-incher. Another little guy right next to me here. Ow, ow. Don't hook me. Alright, get a hold of him here. Yeah, that guy's probably around 11. This steady retrieve tactic is simple, but it can be absolutely deadly for numbers sometimes. Most of my best numbers days for bass and smallmouth and rock bass and I don't know, other fish too probably, came off of steady retrieve of different lures, mostly curly-tailed jigs and and sometimes rapalas and spinners. There's so many stacked up in this little deep spot. I haven't moved in a long time. This guy hit right next to me here. There's another tiny guy, 10-incher. I normally do this with a floater rapala, but the one that I use doesn't have as big of a hook gap as this husky jerk has, so I figure I'd use this to try and lose less fish. That's the main reason I'm using it, not because it's a husky jerk. There's another decent one, I guess, for a small river. You know, 15, 16. Yeah, probably 15 and a half or 16, I'd say. A little bit of a gut. This guy's tiny. Really small. Yeah, it's just a baby. Oh, weird. Look at his head. It's all like deformed and short. That's awful. It's like a really short head. I don't know what to call that. Like his nose is gone. Strange. You're a terrible creature. Get away from me. Finally lost my husky jerk, so I switched over to a F9 rapala. One with a little smaller hook gap, but that's what I normally use. Sweet. Another smallie. Awesome. Tuck my pole in there. Yeah. Another smallie. Awesome. Now this is a fall bite for sure. Numbers of 13s. The occasional better one mixed in, but mostly numbers of 13s. Well, I'm going to do this for a while longer and then start night fishing for rock bass, I think. That was really why I came down here. October rock bass fishing for monsters. Oh my gosh, speaking of which. Well, that was easy. Didn't expect that. Beautiful rock bass. Wow. That is a great rock bass. What a pig. Holy cow, get a measurement on that one. That one's a solid 11, maybe a little more, I would say. Nice, thick one. What a beauty. Measured that rock bass. It was a beautiful, perfect looking 10.7 incher. About half the weight of the one I'm looking for, but still a nice one. Above average for around here. Really looking for 12 pluses. You know, really looking for like 14, 15 inches, but 12 plus would make the season for sure. On a rock bass for me. Yeah, another smallie, probably 14 or so. There's a beaver in here, and he keeps tail slapping everywhere. This guy's fighting hard. Another smallie, 100% smallies and one rock bass, no walleyes at all. Interesting. I mean, I normally get a lot of smallies night fishing, but usually get some walleye or something like that. Sometimes some big walleye too. This is a good way to get a big pressured walleye. Well, that's another nice solid bass. Sweet. Another decent one for sure. Probably 17, I'd say. Beautiful. A little more light on them here for you. I'm going to start rock bass fishing soon. Starting to slow down a little bit. cleaning them out of this area. I could just go hit another area, but I just feel like rock bass fishing. It's another decent one. Sweet. Awesome. Another nice solid one. Chunky. 16 and a half, 17. Beauty. Alright, still smallie fishing for a little bit. Got another one on here. It's rolling around a lot. Means he's probably good sized. Usually when they have a hard time jumping, they're better sized. Oh yeah. Another nice one. This one might be the biggest one yet. Shoot, keep trying to get pulling my waders there. Alright. There we go. Oh yeah. There's a nice one. That's a big one. Especially for a small river. Fatty. Probably, I don't know, around 18. I'll go get a measurement on them. Really fat though. Just look at that big boy. Real nice for a small river. I mean, this is like the average I get down at the big river, but for a small river, this is a great fish. Another smallie on, I think. Usually underestimate them a little bit when they're skinny and overestimate them when they're fat. That last one was super fat, but he was not quite 18. He was just a little over 17. But he's still a nice one, especially for this stretch of water. You know, as you can tell from what I'm catching tonight, the average isn't 17 and change. This guy's fighting a bit. They're all fighting really hard right now, all real chunky. Chunky fall smallies, man. I have a lot of trouble pulling my waders tonight, though. Make me fumble with the fish. That one's probably 14, 15-ish, right around there. I like setting hooks on things that feel like a snag, you know, and they start to move. Doesn't mean they're huge, but just hard fighting fish like cats and smallies. Shoot, man, I keep screwing up the waders here. Alright. Ooh, 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 shoot. Ow. You just hooked me. That sucks. But he's like, I don't know, 13, 14. I keep catching that fish right there. I'm going to wade out to it because I keep catching him, and this is the second time now he's hit, and I'm like caught on some fishing line at the same time or something. I don't understand what's going on here. He threw the hook the first time. Holy cow, that's crazy. It's a smallie caught on a tube jig. See, there's a tube jig in his mouth, and that tube jig snagged in some junk. So the smallie's like on a leash. How crazy is that? I'm gonna save his life. Probably like a 15-incher. That is wild. It's just still so hot. I could probably do this all night, you know. This is just a couple hours worth of fishing right here. You know, if I did this, you know, probably over like a 200-foot stretch or 150. If I did this over like 1,000 feet of different stretches of the river and did it all night, I'm sure you can imagine how many I'd get. It'd probably be an 80-fish night. Or somewhere around there. It'd be a good numbers night. I'm going to start fishing for rock bass soon, though. So I'm sick of smallie fishing. I'm not really sick of it, but I'd rather rock bass fish. That's what I'm really here for. Rock bass fishing now. Feels like I got one on. He's wiggling. I'm just working a 3-inch curly tail jig, 16th ounce, the same way I was working that rapala for smallies. Just a slow, steady retrieve, usually upstream. Usually killer for rock bass, especially in numbers. Oh, that's another beauty right off the bat. I might be on a school of bigger ones. That's the dream right there, man. I mean, this isn't a monster, but it's a nice solid rock bass, above average. You know, nice solid right around 10-incher, 9 3/4 or 10. And this 16th ounce motor oil curly tail jig. Got another one. Pretty hot. They're hitting pretty steady. It's another solid one. A little more towards average size. Probably 8.5 incher. Seems like I'm on a few rock bass for sure. Maybe a school. This is looking good. Every few casts I'm getting one. I didn't even have to move to my normal October rock bass spot. They're right here. I think a smallie picked it up on the fall. The jig. You know, this is almost as good as the rapala. Steady retrieving the curly tail jigs for smallies at night. It's killer in the day in the fall too. I've had some great numbers days for smallies and rock bass. Just steady retrieving curly tail jigs. Really simple. Seems really stupid, but deadly on numbers sometimes. Usually when they're most active, spring and fall. Just got really chewed up 4-pound test on this one for my rock bass rod, so trying to play this guy a little bit. He's fighting. He's smallie. Ah, another nice solid chunky guy. Sweet. Look at that belly. It's another nice, beautiful bass. This one feels like rock bass. Usually get mostly rock bass doing this. And mostly smallies and walleye doing the thing with the rapala. Steady retrieving it. Oh, maybe this isn't. Oh, I feel he's fighting. Maybe it's just a tiny smallie? Not sure. He's fighting like a smallie. Yeah, he's just a really, really small baby smallie. Just a little guy. Number of rock bass at that last spot actually turned out to be pretty underwhelming, so I moved. Looks like I got a little walleye on the first cast. Sweet. Just steady retrieving that motor oil red fleck curly tail jig still. 14-15 incher. Pretty sure I just had on one, maybe two really big rock bass. And both of them spat the hook on me halfway in. Crazy. All those years of busting my butt leading up to that moment. This one's definitely a rock bass. I can feel him wiggling. Yeah, nice solid one. You know, decent size, I guess. Probably a 9 incher. Alright, started twitching a Berkeley Gulp minnow jig after working the curly tail forever. Another rock bass on. I don't know if I'm going to get on a good number of rock bass tonight. Hard part's finding them, and they're not in the spots they usually are. So I might just keep going smallie fishing later. If this doesn't work out. Yeah, 8.5 incher.